Hey guys, Carla with Carla's Clever Craft. Today I'm a glutton for punishment, so I'm on here for my third live today. We are going to be doing a wreath with this really cute metal sign. It's shaped like a beehive. It says welcome to our hive and has little bees all over it. We're also going to be, if you have been on my Facebook page, you will see that I have started a garland that is bee themed. This wreath is actually going to match that garland, and so we're going to be adding the little bee family to our wreath. And this mountain of mesh that I have behind me here, you can only see probably about half of it. So we're going to really go big on this one tonight. And then we have, of course, all of the beautiful ribbons. I have a bow that I've already made. We might add some of these little fuzzy soft bees, or I have some flat resin back bees that I might add. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with those, but we'll figure it out when we get to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and move everything kind of up out of my way, and we'll start working on the mesh. I am actually going to do 3 different mesh methods on this wreath. So that will be something new and different from what we've done so far before. I'm going to load in my comments real quick before I get started. Oh, I might have hit the wrong button. Okay. Well, we can actually go ahead and wire the sign here while I wait for that to load. Somewhere I had a piece of wire cut. Well, I may have lost a piece of wire already. I'm sure I'll find it when I step on it or sit on it. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and cut another one so we don't waste time. I cut my pieces of wire to attach my signs really long, about 14 inches or so, to make it easy for me to work down through the mesh and ribbon. Now this sign, it's a pretty heavy duty metal sign, and it came actually with a hanger already on the back so that you could hang the sign on a nail with just the sign by itself. So I went ahead and attached my first wire to that hook that's already on there. So then I only had to punch one little hole down here in the bottom. And so to wire that, we are going to just feed this wire down through the hole. Well, I'm gonna have to take my glasses off to see the hole, you guys. I'm getting old. Okay. And then I turn my sign over, pull the wire so the ends are fairly even. And then I'm going to twist the knot for this wire. I'm going to pull tight, and I'm going to twist the knot over top of the hole so that my wires will be coming out of the back of my sign and not off over the edge here. Just makes it a little more sturdy when we add it to our wreath. Twist it 4 or 5 times, and then that's it. Now we have our 2 wires. We're ready to attach it once we get everything else on there. So I'm going to lay that behind me. Let's see if this loaded. My internet has been working really good the last 2 days. I hope that continues and I don't jinx myself. Okay, so, whoops, I almost messed up right off the start. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, if this mountain doesn't fall in on me, is we're going to start with the poof method. And I'm going to start with this black and white mesh. This came from Craft Outlet. And let me see what the name of it was. It is called Wide Weave Mesh. And it's black and got black stripes going this way, white stripes going this way. So I thought that would look good with our bee theme. Okay, and I'm going to measure, I think I'm going to do my inside poofs at 10 inches, and then I'm going to do these outside poofs at 12 inches. So I'm just trying to find my boards. Okay, so I'm going to start on the inside and show you how I do those poofs. This board is 10 inches long this way, so that's what I'm going to use to measure. Hi, honey. Hi, Staffcraft. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Okay, so to get started with my poofs, I am just going to scrunch the end of this together. I'm going to start on one of these pipe cleaners that we have on the inside. This is a 14-inch frame from the Dollar Tree that I'm using, and I've wired it with 18 pipe cleaners, 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. So I'm just going to open this up, tie this in very tight, so we don't want this to come loose. May even use a zip tie here, and I may go back and add a zip tie when we're done. And then I'm going to start right where I attached it and line it up with the corner of my cardboard. And to make a poof, all we are going to do is just gather the mesh in our hand, pull it out to the 10-inch point, and then pull it up and attach it at that point in our next pipe cleaner. Okay, and so we're just going to twist that in really well. Okay, and we're going to do another 10-inch, because I'm going to do 10-inch all the way around the inside. And in doing so, I'm going to try to keep my pipe cleaners up when I get the mesh in them so that I can find them to come back in and lay. We're going to do cruffles next. Just remember when you're measuring your poofs to line up right where you attached the last one. And then measure out 10 inches. You can use a piece of cardboard like I am, or a cutting mat, a ruler. Whatever works for you. Okay. So we have 6 pipe cleaners on the inside. That means we're going to be doing 6 10-inch poofs. And then I'll show you how we transition to the outside pipe cleaners. Make sure you're twisting that in there really tight so that it does not come loose. Now I am at the last pipe cleaner before the one I started in. So I want to do one more loop to complete that circle and go back to that one that I started with. I might untwist this a little bit just so my mesh lays in there nicely, because we're going to be adding a lot to these pipe cleaners on this one. Okay, now I'm going to transition. Let me try to get this to where you guys can see what I'm doing. So now I'm up here on this inside pipe cleaner, and I want to transition down here to this one on the outside 2 rings. So I'm literally just going to pull it straight down and attach it in here, just like that. And then I'm going to start my poofs and come over to here will be my first one. And I said 10-inch, but I'm not sure that that's going to work there. 12-inch, I mean. Because a couple of our pipe cleaners are close together and some of them are far apart. So I might finagle with this a little bit. So I think I'll go ahead and do a 10-inch. Let me just play with this a minute and see if I like it. I might even go smaller on those ones that are closer together. I think that'll work. I'm going to do 10 and then 12 where the pipe cleaners are further apart. So I'll basically be rotating between a 10-inch and a 12-inch. I want this wreath to be nice and full. And I want it to be, I want the matching garland that I'm doing to go with this wreath. I want it to be really showy. Oops. This is supposed to be 10 inches. Now where I'm doing 10 here, you could probably do 8. Because 2 of the pipe cleaners are close together and then 2 of them are further apart. So now I need to do 12 again. And the poops are pretty easy, I think, and quick to put on. Doesn't take as much time as cruffles and curls and ruffles and things like that. I thought about doing ruffles, but I just have a thing about, I like to do the cruffles to curl in those cut edges to prevent fraying. I'm afraid if I do ruffles and leave those exposed, that in my design, you know, if somebody purchases my wreath, it's not going to last as long and it will fray more quickly. So I think I'm going to do cruffles and then curls. Now we need a 12-inch. This is already looking large and in charge. And back to the 10-inch. And 12-inch. Another 10-inch, and we're almost back to the beginning. I've got too many bees on my table. I'm getting caught in them. Okay, so this one needs to be 10-inch. Let me put these. Make sure when you measure out the length of your post that you keep a hold of where the end of that should be and tie that point into your next pipe cleaner. And if you're doing this design the way that I am and alternating the patterns, you know, make sure you don't forget which size you're doing, which I did. This one should have been 12 and I did 10. So let me fix that. Now we need a 10-inch. And then our last one here will be a 12. So on the inside, I did all 10-inch poofs, and on the outside, I alternated between 10 and 12-inch. So now this will be my last one, and I'm just going back into the pipe cleaner here where I started on the outside 2 rings. So that will finish up our circle. I'm going to undo this partially and push the mesh down in there and then retie it. Okay, and now we can just cut the mesh off, making sure we don't cut the mesh that's on our wreath. And I leave a pretty long piece here. And then what I do is I tuck that up inside of the closest poof. Puff, poof. Okay. And then you can just spread out your poofs. We're going to be coming in behind this and laying cruffles in. So I'm not going to be too fancy about the poof. But if you are doing only a poof design, you will want to make sure you go around and have all your poofs spread out and laying nicely. And you can see, even with poofs, just the poofs on here, we've got a lot of coverage on the base. Nice and full. Pretty thick. Trying to keep my pipe cleaners up so I don't lose them in the mesh. And I did wire this vase. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. I wired this vase exactly the way that I wired for, if you've seen any of my other videos for the cruffle method. If you haven't seen those, I have a video that shows you exactly how to do that and how I cut my mesh and do dovetailing and all those things that are repetitive. So if you would like to see that, just let me know in the comments and I will link it there. So we're all done with that one for now. Now we're going to start putting in our cruffles. I'm going to use this really pretty yellow. This came from Craft Outlet as well. I think this was called Wide Stripe Mesh. Not 100% sure, and I don't remember how much I paid for it. Okay, so we're going to do cruffles. We're going to curl the first end, use our pinkies to hold these outside edges down so those curl under nicely, and fold it over 2, 3, 4 times. Use a clip to hold our first curl. Turn that curl away from us and repeat the same thing on the other end. 4. And then we're just going to turn the 2 curls face down and just scrunch right up the middle. Pinch the 2 sides together and take off the clips, and you have a cruffle. And then we're just going to start laying these in. We're going to put one in every single pipe cleaner. Hesitating because I'm trying to decide if I want to put my finished edge to the inside and the outside, or if I want to lay them the other way. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this direction. And then I'm just going to follow the pipe cleaners around, and hopefully that will help me not miss any of them. Okay, so again, we're going to curl the first end, 2, 3, 4. Turn it away from us. 2, 3, 4. Curls face down and scrunch right up the middle. Pinch the 2 sides together and take your clip off. It looks like a big bow. Nope, I almost missed it. You know, I think I'm going to change this. Now that I look at how it's going to look when I put the second one in, I think I want to place these in with the finished edges to the right and the left. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing in this next pipe cleaner on the outside 2 rings. We're just going to repeat this. We're going to do 18 of these all the way around, 1 in each of the pipe cleaners. Oops. Now I don't want to miss this one back here on the inside. And I'm pulling these pieces of mesh down in there pretty tight as well. As tight as I can. This is a really heavy duty mesh, high quality, so it's thicker. Pulling really tight on those pipe cleaners. This is going to be super, super full. The black and white mesh is a thinner mesh, but this yellow is really thick. I'm not sure if you can tell that on camera. And my video froze. Hopefully I'm still actually live. Okay, I can see it now. And this part is tedious and takes some time, so I'm sorry that you have to watch the repetition, but because I was doing so many different types of mesh methods, I wanted to do it completely from the beginning. My video is live, I just can't see comments. Okay. We're almost to the halfway point. It's kind of late. Everybody might be in bed. Double checking to make sure that I don't miss any of those inside pipe cleaners. I think tomorrow, I'm going to finish this wreath tonight on the live, and then tomorrow I should be able to finish up the bee garland because all my mesh came in today, so very exciting. So hopefully I'll get pictures of those two together and be able to post them tomorrow. Pretty excited. I've never done a garland before, and it's actually turning out very well. When I'm laying in the next cruffle, I'm just pulling the one beside it up so that they kind of lay in next to each other, and it gives me this ruffled, curled effect. Getting really nice and full. It's going to be gorgeous. I really like the bee designs, so I love doing them. And the curls that we're going to put on top of these are going to be in this black and white again. So try to tie it all back around together, and then we'll do our ribbon tails. And then midweek, probably Wednesday or Thursday, I plan to do a live video on how I did my garlands. So I know I had a couple people that were interested in that, so I'm going to be doing that soon. We've got 3 more pieces, and then we'll start on the black and white back there and do curls. Gosh, I think this wreath will probably be pretty enough, just all this mesh. Yep, 2 more. Hi, Laura. Yeah, I'm back again. I'm a glutton for punishment today. This is the last one of these. This is going to be a tight fit. Pull all this other mesh up so that I don't mash it. That is really full already. Not sure if you can see how good you can see that in the camera, but that is thick. I would measure, but I think I left my measuring tape in the other room. Okay, so now I'm going to go around and I'm going to put a curl in every one of these. I'm going to actually start off with 1 curl and see if I want to do 1 or 2. Okay, so, oh, and I need to show you how to do curls because I haven't done that before. Okay, so for my curls, all of the mesh I'm using tonight is 10 inches wide, and the curls I have cut to 10 inches long, so it's basically 10 inches by 10 inches. And to make a curl, you literally, the mesh curls on its own anyway, and so you're just letting it curl and curling it up into a loop. You can make them as big or little as you want, but I'm going to do about that size. And then you just pinch it in the middle and add it into your design. And I'm thinking that 1 might be enough. Let's add a couple more before I make a permanent decision. Because we're also going to be adding in ribbon tails to each of these pipe cleaners. that's why I'm thinking that one curl is enough. Yeah, I'm going to stick with one. And curls are really probably the simplest. You literally just roll up the mesh and fold it in half and twist it into your pipe cleaner. Now that I got them closer, it'll be easier. Yeah, I think I like the one, just that color pop of black throughout. I think will look good. With pearls, I just try to roll them so that they're all basically the same size for consistency. Just a few more to go. We'll be ready to start on our ribbons. might be short a piece or two on the black. I might have to cut a couple more. I know when I was cutting them, I did lose count, so I might have shorted myself. One in here. I need 3 more. So I had 2 pieces short. So I'm going to add this one and then cut a couple pieces. When I put my curls in too, I always put the open edge towards the back so that it's facing the mesh. That's another way to cut down on fraying and not have your design affected, your finished design. Makes it last longer. And that's convenient. I laid it right up there, so easy to grab. Oh, and right here is the board. So I'm just going to trim this off to where it's straight real quick. This board is 10 inches wide, so I'm just going to wrap it around here to get me 2 pieces. Of course, cutting mesh makes a mess. And what I mean is this folded edge, this cut edge here, I place it in so that it's facing in towards the mesh, so that it is shielded from being rubbed up against or friction or anything that would cause it to fray. I want to check something here because I have to confess, you know, any good, well-intentioned project always has something go wrong. Not that anything went wrong, but this mesh is so thick and firm that it made this much deeper than I anticipated. So I don't think I'm going to add ribbon tails to these inside pipe cleaners. I think I'm only going to do them on the outside, because I think my ribbons will just get swallowed up in there. Plus, our sign is pretty large and it's going to cover most of that area anyway. So I'm going to just take a look with the ribbons here and see what I think before I make a final decision. But that's what I'm leaning towards. So to start with, we're going to be using this 1.5 inch black and white. I'm not sure what that pattern is called. I just seen it. I needed some black ribbons and I absolutely loved it. So I ordered that. We're going to use that. And then I have the yellow with the black polka dot that we're going to use with this. And then I have this really cute, whoops, bee wreath, and I thought those bees matched nicely with the bees that are on the sign. And then this also has, in the background, probably hard to see on the camera, but it has the honeycomb pattern. And so we're going to use this 1.5-inch honeycomb pattern ribbon. Now this ribbon came from Sam's. That's part of their spring collection. These two 2.5-inch ribbons, I actually ordered those as part of a kit on Amazon. And they do still have those ribbons. Or they did as of day before yesterday. And then this black and white actually came from Craft Outlet. Okay. So I am going to match the honeycomb with the bee. And then I'm going to match the polka dot with the black and white. And I'm first going to test out the middle ones there to see if I do want to add ribbon tails there. So I'm going to just really quickly scrunch these the way I was thinking and see what happens when I put them in here. Yeah, they're pretty much going to be swallowed up, I think. Yeah, I'm not going to add them there. Instead, I'm just going to go ahead and snip these pipe cleaners off, being careful not to cut my mesh. And then push the ends down inside and squeeze them to secure in all that mesh, because there's lots of it. So that's going to change how many ribbons I need. I had originally accounted for 36, which was 4 of each ribbon, but now we're only going to be doing the outside 12 pipe cleaners, so we will need a total of 24, which is 6 of each ribbon. Took me a second to do my math. One more of those to secure, and then we'll start putting the ribbons in. This thing is beautiful, but boy, is it much more grand than I anticipated. Okay, hopefully it's not blocking the camera angle and you guys can see me working over here. Okay, so to add these in, I'm going to lay them out in a crisscross pattern in front of me. I'm making what I call a small X. Not a big X like this, but a small X. And I'm just going to scrunch right down the middle. I'm going to V these back towards myself and line up these two here so that they're even, or as close to even as I can get. And then when I pick them up, I basically have like a fan of ribbon tails in my hand. And I'm just going to come in and lay it right in the first pipe cleaner here. Pull it tight, twist it 3 or 4 times. There's really not a lot of pipe cleaner left here to cut off, so I'm actually just going to push it down inside and squeeze it. And then fluff out my tails. Then we're going to come over here to our next one, and we're going to rotate the pattern. So now we will do the black and white with the polka dot. Scrunch up in the middle again. Twist 3 or 4 good times. Push it down in the middle and squeeze it. That secures your ribbons. That way you can pull and tug on them, shape them, and make them lay the way you want without fear of them coming loose. we're going to do the bee and the honeycomb again. Even change the way I'm fanning these out based on how thick it is. I might do this in an X pattern. No, I like the V pattern better. These pipe thinners are hard to get a hold of because they're so full. It's taken me a little longer than normal. Wrong one. Make sure you keep your rotation of your patterns consistent. Almost put my ribbon upside down. That wouldn't be good. try, but it seems like this part is taking me forever. Yes, I'm still live. Almost there. We got just one more here to do. This is a very full wreath. Said that a few times, but I'm honestly, even though I planned and designed it, shocked myself at how full it is. Okay. So we'll move the rest of these ribbon tails over to the side. Probably going to go ahead and see where I want to place the bow, and also determine, since it is so thick, if my pipe stems to pipe cleaners are long enough. I had done this bow a couple days ago when I was working on the garland, so unfortunately I don't get to do it on live, but I have several videos today that I have done where I did do them live, if anybody is interested. I like it right here. So I'm gonna see now if my pipe cleaners are long enough to do this. Okay, I think they are. Just a little more difficult because they are a little bit shorter. Okay. Twist it around itself, the pipe cleaner, just twisting it around to secure the bow on. And then I'm just going to push the pipe cleaner up inside so it doesn't poke somebody or scratch a door, wall. Okay. I hope you guys can see this massive thing in the camera angle. That was something I didn't consider that this was going to be this big. Who are we kidding? Okay, so I'm just going to take my tails here and maybe like fluff them up a little bit, pull them down, because I'm going to put my sign over here. Up my curls and spread them out. So I'm going to pull a bee down here and a polka dot up on this side, and then I'm going to do the opposite over here, the bee up and the polka dot down. And then I'm going to spread the honeycomb and the black out here. And then I've got this yellow and the black and white next. Just separate those, make sure they're going the opposite direction of each other. And then I have a honeycomb here in the middle and a single little black loop. Okay, so I like the way that looks. About to lose the wreath in the floor. So now I just want to figure out where to place my sign. I want you guys to be able to see. So maybe I'll stand this way. I'm going to kind of angle it. That loop might be in the way a little bit. I have to turn that a little bit. So I'll probably have to reconfigure the bow. Okay, yeah, I think I like it right there. I'm going to feed the wires down through to the frame underneath. Try to wrap them around 2 of the bars on the wire wreath frame. And I am so glad that I did long wires because I definitely need them for this amount of mesh. And I have done this style wreath before and it's not been so thick. The difference truly is that yellow mesh is very firm and very thick and very stiff. So it's giving me a whole different look than I had anticipated. And I'm going to pull it down slightly just to have it good and tight, but not too. I don't want to mesh up all the mesh and sink it down inside of the mesh. I want it to kind of sit on top. So I'm just twisting the wire around itself a bunch of times, making sure that it's good and tight and secure. extra wire. And then push the end of the wire. I'm going to wrap it around one of the rings and push it up inside of the wreath design so the sharp edge is not sticking out. And then I'm just going to turn around and do the same process down here. Honestly, probably could have cut these a little longer, would have made it a little easier, but they are long enough to feed down through. I've got it twisted pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the ends of the wire, just a little bit there to trim off. Wrap it around one of the rings on the frame again, push it up inside. Okay, and then I want to definitely add these 3 little bumblebees, because that is part of what makes it coordinate with the garland that I'm making. And I need to work on the bow just a little. So it's not covering up my sign. I might even trim these tails some. I got an awful lot of them coming down through there, so I think I'll probably end up trimming some of those. All right, so let's take a look. I think I might do the big guy right in here. And I'm going to use zip ties. I've got these are made very well, and they got these metal little legs on them. So I think I'm going to zip tie around the legs into the mesh. So if I put that one there, we're definitely going to have one over here maybe at the bottom, and then another one maybe on this side. Since we got the big one at the top, maybe put the 2 little ones down here. So let's see if I know where my zip ties are. Actually, they might be in the other room. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to be able to zip tie them down, but I'm just going to run the zip ties around one of the legs in the back on this side and the front on this side, and I'm just going to attach it right to this mesh, probably this yellow mesh, because it's very stiff, firm, stout, very well made, so I won't have to worry about it coming unattached. But that is our beautiful bee wreath, will be once we get these attached. Let me know what you guys think. Silly sister, hi. Oh, Sylvia, hi Sylvia. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this came out much larger than I had anticipated. This yellow mesh is really, I guess it's really good quality because it's very firm and it really stands up and holds its position. So it ended up being thicker. So I made a few alterations, but I think overall it came out really cute. And I'm making a swag to match this. I have it started, I'll finish it tomorrow, and hopefully get pictures of both of them posted. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite bee designs that I've done, so I really like it. Everybody let me know what you guys think in the comments, or if you have any suggestions. Is there anything I should add to it or do differently? And thank you guys for watching me, and I am going to definitely call it a day. I'll try to move this over to maybe where you guys can see the whole thing in the camera. And I am going to go relax and try to get some rest. And you guys do the same, and I'm sure that I will be back on here tomorrow. Oh yeah, the garland is turning out really nice. It's honestly my first time doing one, and I'm really, really happy that I was able to successfully do it on the first try. Okay, you guys have a good night, and I hope I see you back on here soon, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.